Hello, Bob Schmidt from Directed Energy here. Welcome to our latest edition of Tech Tips. Today we're going to talk about connecting laser diodes in series and in parallel. If we decide to connect our laser diodes in parallel, all the cathodes are tied together and all the anodes are tied together, like so. What happens is the current that we feed into this circuit from our pulsar is going to be divided among the laser diodes. This is a good thing because we don't need very much voltage to drive the laser diodes. However, we do need as much current as all three diodes in this case require added together. The issue is how they divide. If it turns out that this diode right here has slightly different characteristics from the other ones and represents a lower impedance to the current, it will hog the current. It'll get much more current than the other diodes, which means it could get hot, it could even fail, and it certainly will put out more light than the other two. So those are the disadvantages of using a parallel hookup. The alternative is to hook the laser diodes in series, anode to cathode fashion like this. In this case, the current everywhere in the circuit is the same. If we're running 10 amps, all three diodes will see 10 amps. There is no issue with dividing the current. However, the voltage adds, and therefore we will need more voltage to drive the circuit with. If each of these diodes represents a 2.5 volt forward voltage drop, we would need 7.5 volts compliance voltage on the part of our driver to make sure that we have lit up these laser diodes equally. This can be done if the laser diodes are dissimilar, because once again the current is the same everywhere in the circuit. On this kind of a circuit, the only way we can really ensure that each diode will have the same amount of current and is lit to about the same extent as the others is to perhaps build them on the same substrate, build them at the same time, make sure they're from the same lot, and so on. One of the things also that hooking them in series brings into the picture is we have more wire in the circuit. We have more connections, more terminals, maybe more wiring, more strip line, because wiring them in series simply involves more metal in the circuit than wiring them in parallel. And when we do that, we may introduce more inductance into the circuit. This is a disadvantage to the series circuit, and what may happen there is we'll end up with a little bit of overshoot or ringing on the waveform, and consequently we have a disadvantage to the series circuit. We have a very good video on that topic on interconnecting laser diodes with drivers, which talks about inductance and the characteristics involved with that. And that's all I have to say.